A Vision of the Future. The French writer Jules Verne wrote several books in the late 1800s. In them, he wrote about the future. He asked, "What will life be like at the end of the 20th century, 100 years from now?" In one of his adventure novels, From the Earth to the Moon, his characters traveled to the moon in a rocket. In another novel, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, his characters dove through the depths of the ocean in a submarine in the shape of a whale. In a novel titled Paris in the 20th Century, Verne described a city with skyscrapers of glass and steel, high-speed trains, gas-powered automobiles, and a global communications network. Space rockets and submarines and other things in his novels didn't exist in Verne's time, but many of the inventions that Verne imagined became reality by the end of the 1900s. That's why people call Verne a visionary.
Comments made in the United States in 1955. Right or wrong predictions?
I seriously doubt that fast food restaurants will ever catch on.
Have you seen the new cars coming out next year? It won't be long before $1,500 won't even buy a used car.
Did you see where some baseball player just signed a contract for $75,000 a year just to play ball? It wouldn't surprise me if someday they'll be making more than the president.
Soon all our kitchen appliances will be electric. They are even making electric typewriters now.
I'll tell you one thing. If things keep going the way they are, it's going to be impossible to buy a week's groceries for $20.
If they think I'll pay 50 cents for a haircut, forget it.
Today is a very important day for all of you. It marks the end of your high school days and the beginning of a new life for you. From here, some of you will go off to college and others will be starting jobs. I've known you all through high school, and some of you I've known since kindergarten, when you were only 6 years old. Ibrahim al-Anazi. No one could run like you in school races. You have become a really good athlete, and I'm sure you're going to make a fine physical education teacher when you finish college. Stephen Walker, you always had to prove your point, and you could argue your points well and give a lot of good reasons. You have been a great captain of our debate team. I'm certain you're going to be a successful lawyer, and I wish you the best of luck at college and then at law school. Saeed al-Yami, you always had a great scientific mind, and you truly deserve that scholarship to the School of Science and Technology. Our school is going to miss you. We're going to lose our science researcher temporarily. I say temporarily because in the future we'll probably be reading about your work in scientific journals and the press. We might even watch you being interviewed on television. Jim Miller, you were always busy raising money and working for good causes and charities. You'll be a wonderful social worker after you finish college. Whatever road you may take, I'm sure you'll always remember the days you spent at Riverside High. The friends you made and the good times you had are things you will never forget.
In a century. And young and old. Can. Cars can fly. 2. 9 to 5. Was. It was common. Of. Cars of the future.
Would you tell us about the new intelligent home of the future?
Certainly. The concept of intelligent buildings is to monitor and optimize lighting, security, ventilation, heating, audiovisual and entertainment systems, and so on. It's an integrated household system that will make people's lives easier.
How will the house actually function?
When you arrive at the front door, you won't need a key. The door will open with a touch of your finger. The system will recognize your fingerprint.
What happens after I enter the house?
The lights will come on if it's night, the climate control will be activated, and surround sound will automatically play your favorite radio station.
What special facilities will there be in the kitchen?
You'll be able to call your refrigerator when you're at the supermarket and find out how much milk there is or how many eggs you have left.
That's wonderful. What about the housework? I hate doing that.
The house will come equipped with a robot that will do the cleaning, the washing, and the cooking.
No kidding? Can I buy the robot without the house?
The Tulsa Time Capsule. A crowd of people gathered outside the courthouse in Tulsa, Oklahoma in June 1957 to witness the burial of an unusual time capsule, a brand new gold and white Plymouth Belvedere car. The city leaders explained, in exactly 50 years' time, this car will be unearthed to show the world who we were and how we lived in Tulsa in 1957. The automobile contained a flag, a city phone directory, an unpaid parking ticket, and the contents of a woman's purse, bobby pins, a lady's powder compact, a plastic rain cap, several combs, a tube of lipstick, a pack of gum, a wad of tissues, $2.73 in bills and coins. 5 gallons of gas were also included in case the combustion engine became obsolete by 2007 and no fuel was available. The event attracted all sorts of people to Denver Avenue that day in 1957. Some thought that the idea of burying a new car was dumb. Others thought it was brilliant. Raffle tickets for the car were sold. The person to guess the approximate population of Tulsa in 2007 would win. "I'll never be alive," said Teddy Baxter, aged 6. "Sure you will," answered his brother Henry, who was 19. "I might not be, but you'll be around for sure." Gene McDaniel, who was 20 at the time, thought, "In 2007, I'll be 70. I'll never make it." The Plymouth was wrapped in protective materials and lowered into a concrete vault, which was supposed to withstand even a nuclear attack. It lay there for 50 years. On June 13, 2007, the vault was opened and the car was raised as thousands of people watched. The organizer of the event said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I present you Miss Belvedere." Unfortunately, the tomb was unable to protect the car from moisture, and the vintage vehicle was covered in rust. The contents of a typical woman's handbag in the glove compartment looked like a lump of rotted leather. The microfilm that recorded the names of the contestants wasn't found. There was a bit of disappointment that the items were not in better condition. However, some items inside the time capsule were in good shape. They included a U.S. flag and some historical documents, such as aerial maps of the city and postcards. The good news is that when the Belvedere was unearthed, Teddy and Gene were still alive. They never thought they would be here to see it happen. Someone present said, "It's our King Tut's tomb. It's like a fairy tale."
Keeper of Hidden Treasure. This is not a fairy tale, nor a scary story. It is the story of the discovery of 900-year-old treasure off the Korean shore. A fisherman caught an octopus that had bits of blue pottery attached to its tentacles. At first, he thought they were shells. He caught more octopus, and they all had shards attached to their tentacles. Finally, he brought up an octopus that had a whole plate caught on its tentacles. That was when he realized that he had made an important discovery. He had heard about shipwrecks with ancient pottery in the area, so he contacted the museum as soon as he got back. An urgent underwater exploration led to the discovery of 30 perfect examples of 12th century bowls, thanks to the octopus family.